Exactly. So they think for next summer. Yeah. Okay. You need one. Okay. Last year. Whirlwind. Yeah, we did one time. Is doing the strength thing this year, which is new for her. She's such a yes woman. I saw her another mom down. But the thing is, she was having yes, but we were trying to move like on a tech free kind of no, especially our so many extra things that they're we need to figure out how to do this. But yeah, engineering we have one section of it, so they're always like tender rapid. Sounds like Maria said I'll tell you next time I think one application she's already Spanish 1A.
That's a good,
yeah. Yeah.
Call the meeting to order. Would you please stand if you're able and face the flag? Please join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
No. Before we begin the full meeting, I would just like to point out, it came to my attention, and I didn't realize it was this many years, but that this past July marks the 10th year anniversary, and pardon my voice, of the passing of a beloved Healdsburg student. Drew Escobar was an elite athlete, a thespian, a stellar student. He received a full scholarship for MIT. He was noted for his warmth, his humor. He was so loved and revered that literally hundreds of dollars of scholarships annually have been awarded to others in Drew's memory and honor. Drew clearly was loved and admired for those who knew him, and indeed by many others. With a few years ago, the recent past board of Trustees moved and approved the naming of the Drew Esquivel Hall, which has been spectacularly upgraded and it is an honor. And I invite you to stop by and see it if you haven't done so. And again, to Drew Esquivel, I wish this was stronger. Thank you. That said, we have a report out from closed session. During the previous closed session, the board acted to authorize the district superintendent or designee to notify one temporary certificated employee, temporary transitional kindergarten teacher pursuant to Education Code 44954A that they will be released from employment effective the date set forth in the resolution. All trustees unanimously voted in favor of this release. Do we have any adjustments to the?
We do. We are going to take off item 12.1I, which is a contract with Inform K-12, is a contract to automate a lot of our paper systems. We're actually kind of antiquated in how we have a lot of processes on paper. However, we just got news this last week that our property taxes came in well below what we had forecasted in the budget, with only 0.6% growth rather than the 3.5% that we had forecasted. So I'm not calling it a budget emergency, but we're slowing down on spending for now until we can get a clearer picture of some other monies possibly coming in from the state. So we're going to take that off as it was an item for $26,000, which isn't a now necessity. So.
Yes, and that's painful. I've spoken to some staff that were thrilled to know that they didn't have to have stacks of paperwork, but actually could be, what's that called? Techie. Anyhow, and I say that word because, well, I won't go there. Okay, special recognition, staff members of the year.
All right, so I'm going to have each principal come up and talk about their staff members of the year. Even I think we only have 2 who actually came to the meeting today, which is okay. But so could we start with HES? Christine, you want to talk about your teacher and your classified staff member of the year? They're not, so it's okay. Yeah, but good to share with all of us. Yeah.
Hello, everyone. Our classified staff member of the year is Julie Garfia. She's our school secretary, and she's always helping with everything. Like, you can't run the school without her. You know, she orders all the supplies. She's so organized. Anything that I don't know, she knows. Just today, I was like, oh, I need to make a flyer. She's like, I got you. And she made a beautiful flyer, bilingual. So she's just someone who's essential to running our school. And I think she's been there for what, 4 years now? 3 or 4. Yeah, but it seems like she's been there for so much longer because she knows so much. So Julie's amazing. And Miss Aguayo is our teacher of the year, and she's our Spanish teacher. But one thing that we've really been in addition to teaching Spanish to all of our students, she helps to, since she's a teacher of all the students at the school, we really use her whenever we need to set up family meetings. And so really it's helped our family partnerships a lot. So just this week, you know, at the beginning of the year, there's some students where it's like, oh, I think we need to connect with their family, find out a little bit more about the student, how we can support them, their interests. And Miss Aguayo is always there to help cover the class so that we can have those meetings with families. So, and Miss Aguayo has been teaching for such a long time. She knows every student in the school. She does a lot of fun songs. She just has a fun connection with all the students and the staff members. So we're very grateful and proud of our staff members. Thank you.
And we'll have Erica come up and talk about hers from Fitch.
Good evening. So they're not here, but I am excited to be able to just talk to you guys about them and share a little bit. So Mrs. Cook is our one of our resource and intervention teachers, and she is a phenomenal teacher. She knows exactly where her students are and where they need to be and how to get them there. She's super collaborative. Each of our RSP intervention teachers work with 6 teachers, so 3 different teacher teams. And she was really instrumental, integral in getting us to move to more of a push-in model, trying to provide more support for students in the classroom. And doing that means a lot of collaboration. So she's always willing to help the gen ed teachers with whatever they need. I'm talking too long. And then, but lastly, she's also just a ray of sunshine and has brought a lot with our staff and the Sunshine Committee. We have a book club meetings, potlucks, birthday celebrations. So she's just been a wonderful addition to the staff. I think last year was her 3rd year. And then Claudia Calderon is our school secretary. And it's only been like a year and a half, but I feel like she came to us with decades of experience in Cloverdale schools. And so she just jumped right in, and she is like inflappable. Sometimes when I'm stressed, you know it. And like, I've never seen her stressed, even though I know she has to be. People will interrupt her, teachers, staff, students, and she just like seamlessly helps them, no problem at all, and then gets back to whatever she's doing. And it all gets done amazingly well. So I feel so grateful to have her at Fitch. So just congratulations to both of our staff members.
Thank you. I subbed at Fitch yesterday as principal, and I can tell you, like, Claudia really ran the school that day. She was amazing. Yeah. So, all right. Principal Odetto, Nicole, you want to talk about your 2 staff members of the year, please?
Okay, so we have Ms. Tanya Boyle. She is our science and engineering teacher. This will be her 5th year at the junior high. She is, again, a ray of sunshine, like Erica said about her employee. She's involved in everything around campus. Students absolutely love her class. It's super hands-on. It's dynamic. It's never the same. Always excited about science is what you see the 7th grade students feeling like. She also is like transformed our engineering program since she's been here. The interest is stellar. I can't give enough students engineering. They want it so bad. They build boats. They go and float them in the Healdsburg pool. They build roller coasters. They build robots. Always such creative work. And she's never one to just rest when she feels like it went well. It's really about always making it better for the kids. She's a part of every single one of my teacher groups on campus. She hosts our Christmas parties and staff weddings she's had at our house. She is just so gracious. Yeah, she's so gracious and so generous. Yeah. Yes, staff weddings. We've had a few we had 2 last year. One was 2 staff members getting married, the Oteros. She did not host that one. But Miss Munlux, who's now Mrs. Celia, she hosted. And I was not there, but it looked beautiful. So she's just so generous, and she gives a helping hand to anyone. She's very, very knowledgeable about the administration side of school as well. And so I really lean on her for a lot of advice there. So she's amazing. We all love her. And then Miss Jess Martinez is our school secretary. She's also been at our school for 5 years, and I would say, or 5 and some change. She and I have worked really closely together in transforming the processes around the junior high. So changing some stuff up in the office and making sure things run smoothly. We laugh because she's always following me with like a notebook. As fast as I'm running around campus, she's right behind me. And she is always encouraging my wild ideas, but she very much can tell me like, Nicole, that's too much. Not right now. So I really lean on her for that too. I mentioned to our staff in our welcome back day that the one thing that I love most about Jess is she's really put time into trying to understand the point of view of the Healdsburg community and our students and staff and parents. So she's very welcoming in the office, and she's very easy to be empathetic, and really helping our families navigate the world of junior high. And we've really spent a lot of time working on that together, putting ourselves in their shoes. So both stellar employees, we love them both, and we couldn't run our school without them. So thank you.
Thank you. And Tate, you want to come talk about the HHS Employees of the Year?
I just want to say I have a student in Tanya's class, and his new favorite subject is science now. So to what Ms. Odetto said, it is true. So to talk to the high school staff, Karen Wilkinson, biology teacher, AP Bio, AP Environmental Science, started a new CTE pathway this year in food science. She's always all in when it comes to what students need to develop their science skills. She believes in every student when they're in their classrooms. She works hard to make sure every student is recognized and elevated and has the science foundations they need to be successful as they move on. The number of students that we've had who are now going into science careers, well, I don't think it's only Miss Wilkinson. It is a team of people that are doing that. All of our science teachers, Miss Calhoun with the engineering program, she's been instrumental in transforming the rigor and kind of academic level of those classrooms. Outside of school, she runs an exchange program for students. They've gone to Iceland, they're going to Costa Rica. I forget what the next place is, but it's probably going to be even better than those two. She's always involved in the things that we need done. And when she can be a yes person is a yes, and that is 99% of the time. And we love having her at the school. Jenny, welcome. We're glad to see you here today. And I just want to say, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Wait, please stand up. Come on up.
Yeah, please come on up. Thank you. Yeah. I came in 3 years ago, and one of the people that I can rely upon for things every day in the school is Jenny. And that is not just in things that we need done, because she does say yes. She's been our senior advisor. She works with students. If I need to have a conversation with a student that she has a relationship with, she can be there for that. She helps in the front office. She came in over the summer to support. But every day, Jenny works with some of our most vulnerable students in the school. And the relationships she's developed over the years aren't just instrumental, but they are life-changing for these students. There's students who walked across our graduation stage last year because of a relationship with Miss Jenny, not because I said I want you to graduate or somebody else did, but because Jenny, over 4 years, has built a relationship that in many ways forced them to say, I'm going to graduate for you, right? Because I know how much time and effort and love and care you've put into this. So also, I don't know how many years it is, but let's say a few. Right? 20 plus, maybe?
23.
Okay, 23 years in Healdsburg Unified. And she's done this for so many kids, right? And so thank you for all you do. We really appreciate you at the high school. You're amazing. Yeah.
So Jenny, that means you were 15 when you started, is that?
I'll add Jenny is also on the CSEA e-board. Secretary? Are you secretary? Vice President, excuse me. Yeah. She's the vice president and they do a fantastic job. We have a strong relationship with them and they just do a great job advocating for their colleagues. So we appreciate that. So I'm going to actually introduce you all to Angela Von Essen, who is our new CBO. And she's going to talk about our district employee of the year, Cindy Nordahl. So.
Okay, I would love to introduce and bring up Cindy Nordahl. She's our payroll accounting specialist, employee of the year. I can't tell you how much I appreciate Cindy. I've been with the district for a little over a month, and she is quite a teacher. She creates a culture of fun in our office. We jam out. We have great meetings. She's just very supportive. Not only, behind the scenes, you don't get to see a payroll person. They're behind a computer working all day. But what she does for us, and it stands out to me, is she cares about each employee. She'll go out of their way, take the time to meet with them. And it's just appreciated because it just gives that culture of welcoming and just true Healdsburg community. So thank you, Cindy. We appreciate you.
Thank you, Cindy. I want to add, Cindy is very calm. Like she's sort of unflappable in the office. And then I remember the first time I saw it, like there's this biker woman in the parking lot getting on a motorcycle. And I came back and was like, who's the biker chick? And they're like, that's Cindy. Wait, what? She changed, So did you just ride your bike down to San Diego and back or something? Okay. Well, but you have. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, so she likes to ride bikes. Yeah, that's where it must come from. So anyway, thank you, Cindy.
celebrating our success. Bishop Ranch Reed Camp.
Oh, here we go.
Hi, everyone. My name is Liam Goff. I'm the camp director at the Bishop's Ranch. Was the assistant camp director and longtime counselor, longtime camper. I'm currently teaching theater at Marin Academy down in San Rafael after 4 years away teaching world history and theater in Washington, D.C. With me, should I introduce you all? This is Jen Stark. She's the director of hospitality operations at the Bishop's Ranch. This is Greta Masix, whom you might already know. This is Aaron Wright, executive director at the Bishop's Ranch.
Who's the good-looking guy?
And this is Bosco,
Bosco. Okay, thank you. Don't leave him
wonderful
out.
facility dog. So we're here to speak on behalf of Reed Camp and the ranch, just to report about how special and meaningful this program is to our local kids in 4th, 5th, 6th grade. This summer we had 70 campers come for 2 weeks, 50 came for both weeks, but 70 in total. And the power that this camp has for these kids is amazing. It's immense. I was talking with Jen the other day just about what this camp does for these kids that is different than summer school. I think many of us can think back to a time when camp for us was a time to be away from school and to be in a space where song and play and community felt different than the mandatory structures of school. And Reed Camp does that, but through this literacy-focused lens, where we're not teaching kids necessarily how to read, but to fall in love with reading. And to see themselves as not just who they are, Healdsburg local kids or neighbors or cousins with one another, but we see them at the Bishop's Ranch as who they can be, which is artists and poets, actors in Reader's Theater, naturalists in the nature and nonfiction reading rotation that we do. And so we have a few slides that we'd like to go through. We can just click through and show some of the experiences at the Bishop's Ranch that we have for these children. I can say from experience seeing campers when I was just a counselor who were Reed campers in 2017, 2018 to come back and be counselors. And then this summer we had a student, Gio Lopez, who was a Healdsburg High grad, now at Chico State, and served as the assistant camp director during the 2 weeks of Reed Camp. Seeing the full circle loop and the way that these kids looked up to him and saw themselves in him as someone who could be a counselor, who could give back to the Healdsburg community, is the most magical thing you can ask for. And so I'm here from San Rafael and from just the Bay Area in general to say that Reed Camp at the Bishop's Ranch really matters to this community. And yeah, I'll turn it over to Aaron to talk a little bit more.
Well, can we finish the slides?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have Healdsburg High students coming in as counselors, Alejandra in the middle. Campers doing Reader's Theater. They do poetry writing workshop in the middle. There's a campfire at the end where they share their poetry. We have nature and nonfiction. Oh, there I am helping out with Reader's Theater on the right. I'm also proudly wearing my Reed Camp tie-dye, which we do every summer. And we have counselors coming from as far as Montana to work at the Bishop's Ranch, and some actually came up earlier than we had originally hired them because they wanted to come and do both weeks of Reed Camp. They'd heard so many amazing things about it. Art is a big thing, games, singing, and it's different than school. It's a camp magical in the beautiful environs of the ranch where they can run around and play and be in safe and welcoming community.
That's hard to follow. Thanks, Liam. My job is just to put great people in place and then give them the resources that they need to do this. So I just want to say thank you first to Healdsburg Unified School District for being our partner in this. You provide the transportation, which is essential to get them get the campers to the ranch. We have historically been mostly grant funded. So thanks to the Josephine Leiser Foundation, the Guardsmen, and some other grantors. This year, though, many of our grants got downgraded. And so our community stepped up in a big way. We had a lot of individual donations that said, I want to see Read Camp happen. And so over $30,000 from individuals came in to bridge the gap from our grants. So I say that and I say thank you. And I say we're also looking for partners for next year. So we want Read Camp to continue. So thank you for partnering with us.
Hi, guys. I think this was the 10th year that we did Read Camp. And I just want to applaud Judy Velasquez, who was involved in getting this started with Pat Moore. Thank you, Judy. Without your vision, this absolutely would not have happened. Thank you very, very much. Yeah, every year it's gotten better and better. And I also have to say that it's just a spectacular team at the Bishop's Ranch. And it's so great that I want you guys to consider Healdsburg Unified School District and Bishop's Ranch people. We've got Read Camp dialed in. How about Write Camp? Thank you, guys.
Thank
you.
Thank you.
Thank you. It's an amazing program. We really appreciate it.
Before you leave, as a Rotarian, I would invite you to talk to the Rotary Club noon as well as morning. Hopefully they'll give you some money. I think they would like to. Okay, public comments on non-agenda items. The public may address the board on any consent action items or item not listed on the agenda. Pursuant to the Brown Act, during this period, board cannot consider issues or take action on any item not listed on the agenda. Time is limited to 3 minutes per person. Do we have any public comments? Seeing none, we'll move on. Approval of the, we have one, yes. You may come up and then be sure you turn in a card before you leave.
We'll get you the
So we know your name
Yeah.
for the public record.
My name is Matthew Hughes, and I'm trying to promote Title IX or co-ed, basically sports, kind of require it, mandate it, enforce it. I think the school district needs to take a stand on that. I think it needs to be everywhere. I think it needs to be law. But soccer in the elementary, rugby in middle, and football in high schools, I think critical health and development might get into county health dynamics, and it might be a dynamic where, maybe there's multiple teams, but it gets into health issues. I think I'm trying to also promote co-ed city league, football, rugby, and soccer is like 3 major that kind of get rotated through for health. But I think it's just critical timing that it goes to co-ed. At least the sports need to co-ed immediately, in my opinion, like enforced. So.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right. Approval of consent agenda. Are there any other? No. Approval of the consent agenda. The purpose of the consent agenda is to expedite governing board action on all consent agenda items, which do not typically require discussion. Items pulled and therefore excluded from the consent agenda will be acted upon individually. Any items can be removed, deleted, or held for discussion from the agenda by the request of a board member. Are there any requests to pull? Seeing none, do I have a motion for approval?
So moved. Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Right. Moving on to the litany of junior high construction proposals. We have Tanea Dale from Counterpoint, our construction manager, who's going to talk to each of them. And she'll do one presentation for the next 4 items that covers all of them. And then we can approve them individually if the board so chooses.
Good evening. Thanks for having me. So there's some things that we talked about at the end of the school year that we're trying to push forward, not wait till next summer because some of them impact learning and things like that. Some of them are on the deferred maintenance plan that you guys saw. So I'm going to just walk through those things. Have our principal here. If she has anything she needs to add, we can do that as well. So there's 4 proposals in front of you. The first is providing a fence between the garden and the field, modernizing parts of room 14 to support the ag science classes, adding some library shelving in the library, and then replacing the old broken in-wall tables at the NPR with some storage cabinets. So I know you guys love visuals. So what we've got here is that space that's the garden between the gym and the courts is sort of like, it's kind of a no man's land right now, and there's no fence there at all. And with the program that they're running and sort of trying to shore up that ag program, we want to just make it a classroom, right? Like that is a classroom. It's not just an open space for in and out. So the below photo is sort of an example of the type of fence. We didn't want to just do chain link, but we didn't also want to do all wood because wood is hard to maintain. So this is actually a steel frame, but it kind of has that fence look of a wood garden fence.
So the wood is attached to the metal post?
Yeah, so basically
Thank you.
you don't have to try to maintain the wood posts over time. So hopefully it'll last a lot longer and require minimal maintenance. So that whole space right there between the gym and the basketball courts. So the garden itself, that whole area there, because it's their garden classroom, right, when they're using it, so. No, just the one side, it was just that one side. Yeah, the other sides already have, you have the basketball fence, you have the gym, and then you've got the perimeter fence. Yeah.
And that walkway is adjacent to the turf field.
Yeah.
Right, so. Correct.
Yeah.
And there'll be a gate that locks and. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I was gonna ask.
Yeah.
And so is the gate gonna be the same height as the fence?
Yeah, and it's not, we didn't want a tall fence. We just
Right,
wanted
right.
to make a difference in the space, so it's about a 4-foot fence.
Great, thank you.
All right. So the next one, down,
This
she's
is an
down.
action item, so we'll go for a vote.
I can give you all
You wanna
4
do them all?
and then.
And then
you
we
go
can,
through
if
them.
we
Is
want
that
to split
yours?
and we can, that
Yeah.
sounds good.
So we did get new floor in room 14. So this is off of the gym, and this room had been used for like Club HJH, had after school. So it did not get modernized when the rest of the gym got modernized because it was getting used in a way where we wanted to just let it be and not put a lot of money into it. But now it's a classroom. So now they're going to be doing some ag science in there in conjunction with the garden, right? And so we were able to get the new floor in over the summer. But what's really weird about this space, and it actually, you can't read the sign, but it says green room. So I think this used to be like where if they were doing stuff in the gym, they would go in and have
Like a
change
production or
productions or stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know. But it's got a door, and then inside there's another door to a bathroom. It creates a real supervision issue, right? When you've got kids in there. And so it's always just locked. So what we talked about was how do we make this more part of the classroom? Because it's kind of a small classroom as well. And so we're going to go in there and take out the toilet, take out the sink, put in a double stainless steel wash sink. So you can go in there, wash your vegetables, do all this food prep. And then in that little cubby, or alcove there that is right outside the door, we're going to put in, like you imagine at a restaurant or a kitchen, a stainless steel table so they can do knife skills, they can do, prep vegetables, all that kind of stuff. So it's taking this space and making it really work for that ag science program. So new sinks, new countertop, put in new floor because the floor in there is old. And then it's going to actually function as a classroom right away, but this will help actually make it work for what they needed to work. Any questions there?
Moving on.
Yep. So the library, I guess the librarian went out and there was a grant or something. I'm not actually sure.
Yeah, they purchased like $10,000 worth of new books since we don't have storage for the books.
We don't have storage. So we want it to look the same. So the idea is rather than just buying furniture at a store, we're going to match exactly. So the library, this is one corner. That whole library has this on 3 walls. We're just going to complete it on that 4th wall. And then that will help store the books that they bought.
And those shelves were all custom built
Yeah.
when we did the last renovation. of the libraries, actually. So we did the designer of Barn Diva came in and looked at the high school, and then the junior high. It was, I don't know, 15, 17 years ago. It was a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Before my time.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And then the last one is in the multipurpose room at the junior high. So these tables in my time here have never worked. Right now, if you go in there, you see they have other tables that line the cafeteria for when they need them. These, we did look back a long time ago at trying to replace them. You can't get the same kind of table. It was this whole thing. So they've just kind of been there locked up, unused. Well, now pieces of them are starting to break, and you can see one seat has come out, another seat has come out, and so it's just kind of creating this space that gets dirty and gross. So we talked about what can we do with this if we can't get in-wall tables that work. And so what your proposal in front of you is basically removing these tables. They have like a metal pocket that they're in, and building storage, because no school ever has enough storage. So they're not going to be very deep storage. They're only going to be about this deep, but the PTO, some of the after programs, little things like that can put all their stuff in there that now is shoved in other places that can be used for that. So that's what that proposal is. And I think there's 10 of them. Can't remember.
Yeah, we already have tables.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Set up.
No, they're
No.
just sitting there.
They're just
And breaking.
dumping in the hole right now. Yeah.
So will the shelves be adjustable height?
We can do that. We haven't really talked about that specifically, but they're going to basically custom build a shelf with doors that can lock. And then we'll either have 2 or 3 shelves, and we can make them adjustable.
Right.
So I think that is all I have. Any other questions?
We'll get all these done this year.
Yeah, so we've been talking about like the library shelving, they can pre-make them, stain them, all of that, come in, install them over a weekend. I've been talking to Nicole about how do we get the ag room done. It's probably about a 3-week process. Can we figure out how to do that before the weather, and they can be outside teaching while we do it, so we get it done as quick as possible, stuff like that. The fencing, same thing, so.
And these projects were already part of a list of things to do. It's not like these are out of the blue sky kind of whatever.
Yeah, so some of them were on the deferred maintenance plan. Some of them were part of what we were going to do in modernization, but we want to do them sooner. Plus, to be honest, I can't do them as part of the modernization without triggering DSA on that building. So if I just do them now, then I don't cause other issues.
Any questions? Do I have a proposal to approve for the fencing at the junior high, for the renovation of the agricultural classroom at the junior high?
We should do them one at a time because they're individual projects.
Going to do that. Okay, do I have a motion for the fencing at the junior high?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
It's approved. For the renovation of the agricultural classroom,
So moved.
I'll second.
all approve?
Aye.
100%. For the library bookshelves at Healdsburg Junior High,
So moved.
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
It's approved. And for the proposal of storage cabinets at the junior high school, sorry.
So
All
moved.
those in favor? Go ahead. So moved. Do I have a second? I'll second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, thank you. Thank
Good
you.
work.
All right.
Thank you.
And while you're standing there, I just want to let you know that the community is flabbergasted in a positive way by all the work that they're seeing done at the different campuses. So thank you, and please thank your crew and all the contractors as well.
We were just talking today. I think October I'll come back with my, here's what we did, here's what we're working on, give you guys some updates. So.
Send it to the newspaper because everybody's asking.
This whole El Nino thing's got me nervous about.
Me too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The field.
Wash over.
Me too.
Yeah.
Don't say
I'm
that.
having junior high flashbacks.
Super El Nino.
It
Yeah.
it is refreshing that we have a library that needs more shelf space for
It
us
is.
in this age of AI and the internet, right?
Yeah, it's like a
So-
good job.
Thank you. Thanks, Tanya.
Okay, we have the Healdsburg
Up in the
High School
middle.
novel, The Princess Bride. And before you begin, I never read the book,
Oh, it's fine.
but I've seen the video. I have seen the video, I would bet 50 times.
Oh,
Okay.
And I won't get into why, well, my kids loved it and we had a place in the mountains. We go see it. It was the first thing we did. And it's a great film. So I'm sure the book is equally, if
It
not
is.
better.
Well, if you approve it, you could come and read it with the kids. Wouldn't that be fun? Okay, so I'm actually just going to turn it over, but I did want to mention that next month we will have an update from our library media teacher. And so she's going to tell you about all the new books and you're going to be wowed. Okay, so let me introduce Monica Chavez. She is a ninth grade English teacher, ninth grade AVID teacher, and our theater teacher extraordinaire.
And theater CTE teacher, right? Just.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I like it.
Hi, everyone. I'm super excited to bring in the Princess Bride to ninth graders. I think one of the, I love teaching ninth grade for the curriculum. It's phenomenal. We read Romeo and Juliet, The Odyssey, we read Of Mice and Men, we do short stories, and it's just such a great curriculum to teach students and try to get them into English and really encourage them to keep reading and analyze in all of the great ways that we teach them to do. However, I really think that our fall semester is lacking in the big push of the hero's journey. Which we do very well in our second semester with the Odyssey. And we do cover plot very well in our first semester and following character arcs. However, we're very much missing that like full hero's journey, following a character through all of the trials and tribulations and where they end up. And I think The Princess Bride would be a really great addition to talk about the hero's journey, which is what I am hoping to include in our first semester for ninth graders. One of the things that people ask me is if I'm taking something away from our ninth graders to replace for the Princess Bride. And actually, I'm hoping not to. So one of the things that we in the current ninth grade year that we have been teaching for a couple of years now, freshmen read Of Mice and Men. In freshman year, they read A Summer Life by Gary Soto, and then they read The Hate You Give. All of those books, I'm still hoping to teach them. However, A Summer's Life is the one that I want to cut down. I want to cut it down because they're anthologies. So we can pick and choose which anthologies and short stories to use in our short story unit instead of reading the book in full completion to give room to The Princess Bride. So students still get access to Gary Soto, who's incredible at using literary devices and talking about his experience as a Mexican American growing up in a poor neighborhood. However, they get this big adventure and start to build their skills in identifying that hero's journey.
Sounds good.
Great. Any questions?
Any questions?
So if it pleases the board, we'd bring it back on consent.
Great.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah,
So
thank
much.
you for coming,
I'm so
Monica.
excited.
Yeah.
Please read the book.
It's on my list.
It is available on Libby. If you have a
Library card.
library card, you can listen to it. Yeah, and it's not a very long novel, so
There's
I
any way to
listened to
understand.
it last
You
week.
can listen to it. So I can listen on the way home, okay? It is, okay.
And one of the best movies ever.
I'm not sure why this is discussion, but swearing
Well,
in,
usually with new curriculum, we do. Are you talking about
No, no.
Lucas? Yeah.
that's discussion. I'm going to the next.
Lucas is in action. Yeah. I don't even know if it's actually,
Swearing in.
yeah, it's just to swear him in.
Okay.
Yeah. But
So, yes.
I don't even know if it's necessary, but Lucas, come on up front and Mike, you swear him in as the president. Laurel, do you have a script for him? Yeah.
Right?
It's the hair.
All want pictures with him? Is that? I'm just watching the admiration.
It looks like you scratched.
Swear him in. It's good to have
As boys are want to.
2 years of this wonderful student trustee. It's amazing.
I, Luke Brennan. Do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
and the Constitution of the State of California against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
and that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution of the United States
and I will bear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution of the United States
and to the Constitution of the State of California,
and to the Constitution of the State of California,
that I take this obligation freely without any mental reservation
that I take this obligation freely without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion,
or purpose of evasion.
and that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties upon which I am about to enter.
I will well and faithfully discharge of the duties I'm about to enter. Thank you.
Welcome back, Lucas. Yeah, and you're not only a great student trustee, but it's awesome to have you in the role for 2 years. This is a first. I don't know that it's happened. Yeah. Since I've been here, it hasn't for sure. So, yeah. So the next one is a resolution so Lucas can continue to make motions. Yeah.
Don't move.
Second.
No.
Oh, go ahead.
First and a second, this is a resolution.
President Potwhistle.
Aye.
Vice President Del Rey. Trustee McAllister.
Aye.
Trustee Velasquez.
Aye.
Trustee Lopez Jimenez.
Aye.
Student Trustee Brennan.
Aye.
Thank you.
Going on to summer school update. Summer school update. Who wants to go first? Okay.
Well, we get that pulled up fully. I will just say that it was a great summer for summer school. So many students were served. I can't wait for you to hear about it all from these wonderful principals. And so first, Principal McGuire with the elementary program.
All right. Hi again. I was happy to once again be the elementary summer school principal. We held summer school this year back at HES campus because of work being done at Fitch. In first through sixth grade, we had 88 students. And this is really fancy, so I don't know which way to press. Well, yes. So as you'll see on this next slide, in terms of grade levels, so we had a lot of interest from teachers in wanting to teach. And so I went to Tiffany and I said, well, could we have more than one class at a grade level? And really thinking about those rising second graders. So the, third and fourth grade. So rising second, rising third. We had a bit of need from our students and then also teachers who were interested in teaching. And so we had the money to do that. So we did it. And so I decided to just kind of copy paste this in. This was a document that I shared with the teachers. So as you guys know, summer school is 3 weeks, but technically 13 days because the first week we start on Tuesday and then we have Juneteenth. So it's short, but we really operate and it's, changed throughout the years, but that it's just a continuation of student learning. So they're doing math rotations, they're doing ELA, but that they're also engaging in some fun learning too, because it is summer and get them excited. So all the teachers did mini PBL units. And so months, as soon as all the teachers were kind of secured in their grade level, I sent out a spreadsheet saying, well, what is your PBL going to be? Let's make sure that we are including fun hands-on learning for our students. So this is, and I didn't edit it or add anything, you'll see some pictures, but this is kind of just the rough, what they were going to be doing with students, primarily in the afternoons, but during, their day. We did have a full day. So summer school was 8:30 to 2. So a little shorter than a regular school day, but still a full school day with wonderful breakfast and lunch served. So next, going the wrong way. This is fancy. Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
That's very.
And what's fun is that sixth. So this year was interesting because sixth grade is always the year where, we have 16 kids sign up. And by day 3, we have 8 coming. And sixth grade was awesome. I think there was 12 students the whole entire time. They came every day, which is great, which is a great size for summer learning. So So I was told I had to keep it to 5 slides. And first I put this into like 12 slides of pictures, but I'm going to make it short. So I just took some pictures and some snapshots of student learning in the classroom, from readers theater with Ms. Akala to, math rotations and working with manipulatives in math. Our sixth grade students read a book in that time. They did a novel study, which you can see kind of in those far pictures of students reading in a circle. So again, lots of just continuation of grade level curriculum learning happening over summer for our students who need it the most. And then the PBL, again, this is just a few pictures that I could include on a limited number of slides. So again, the Ms. Alcala's class did a whole unit on reduce, reuse, recycle, learning about, and also, so they had the swap shop where students were able to bring stuff in that they no longer wanted. And then all the classes got to come through and grab something if they wanted it, which was very sweet. And you can see the posters that they made. Miss Hatton did a whole unit on paper airplanes and aerodynamic. It was really actually, her whole unit was about airplanes, but they made paper airplanes and manipulated them to see how far they would go, adding a paper clip, et cetera, measuring, super fun. Then they did that over multiple days, made s'mores and solar ovens. And then for the first time, the 4th grade team, Miss Figueroa and Miss Gomez, asked if they could go on field trips. And I said, why not? So, because they were doing a small business plan for their PBL unit. So they coordinated and they did one day, they went to the farmer's market. And then they went to Cousteau's as well and kind of got a behind the scenes tour, some sweet treats, of course, courtesy of the Seppies. So that was a really wonderful experience. And they were able to just walk to on both of those field trips. So it wouldn't happen. We had, again, a lot of teachers and paraprofessionals. All of the classes had 2 adults in them. So there was lots of, again, support for the students. You can see all of the teachers who taught the different grade levels, and then our paraprofessionals, and then Esme, who's our paraprofessional at FMC, served as the secretary. Food service staff is just always amazing. And then Adriana doing transportation. And then we had the Boys and Girls Club, operated over summer at HES, and they're great partners, and then bus students to the Camp HPG. And so it was great. And I just have to say, because this is embarrassing, after 10 years, this was the first year that I ever visited Read Camp. This is not related, not part of my presentation, but I've never gone out to Read Camp. And I went this summer, and it was just as amazing as they described. So it is really nothing like a student spending their summer at Camp HBG or the Boys and Girls Club. It's just a magical experience that I'm so happy that we can provide for the students. Any questions about summer school? Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I just want to point out, normal program, you might not see such robust staffing, right? So I was just counting instructional personnel. It's 16, I think. So that's like a 5-to-1 ratio. But thank you to the state of California for their extended learning opportunity program. And we have plenty of money to be able to fund elementary summer school with that. So it's a great opportunity to make a difference for a lot of kids. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Okay, hi. So for the first time in my tenure here at HUSD, I was the summer school principal, and we haven't had a junior high program in about 3 years. So it took a lot of creativity to get students to come to the summer program. And we did a phenomenal job. So it was really, really creative and very dynamic. The kids loved it. So Joanna Polisari, or Joanna Otero, working on that, and Miss Jamie Kiff kind of tag team the summer school program this year, and we focused on STEM. So we incorporated science, math, we put some English in there, and really designed it all around food. Because if you want junior high kids to do anything, you feed them, and you do everything around food. So they did a lot around baking, and then a lot around cooking. So the kids were super interested in that. I would say we had 15 students, and we held almost all 15 the whole 3 weeks. We only did one session, and we did 8:30 to 12:30, so half days. The students were so very happy the entire time because they were fed the entire time. But really, they were excited to be there every day. And the teacher team created experiences that carried them through the 3 weeks. So Joanna did week 1 and Jamie did the second 2 weeks. You can see here the students took a few field trips. So they were able to go to Cousteau's and Downtown Bakery and the Farmer's Market to collect ingredients for their cooking projects. They made pasta and pizza and cookies. And we're so very proud to come into the office and show us what they made. And they ate it all, which is not surprising. So you can see here, they're at a few different field trips and then really working on measurement for the math component, finding recipes for reading in English, making recipes. And then Jamie's 3rd week, they did some farm to table stuff. So they worked on creating their own food trucks. So you can see here, the gentleman on my left, every student had to come up, or every group of students came up with a business plan, and they made their own food trucks. They did the marketing, they did the budgeting, they did a presentation about it, and they were very, very proud of their creations. Really, they tried to be very innovative. We had the run-of-the-mill, like, carnival food, like popcorn and cotton candy, but then we had, like, a spin on crazy fun ice cream, and we had matcha trucks, and they were all about teaching us about the aesthetics of what that should look like outside, you know? So they spent a lot of time using AI to design these, and they had a great time. One of the threads that kind of went through is they learned how to make sourdough using sourdough starter. Jamie and I laughed because it made it 2 weeks, and then her and I kind of were like, should we get some backup? Because we were unsure if we were sustaining it correctly. But it was a trial and error there. I know, it was so fun. They got to collaborate with their teammates, and overall, just they had fun the entire time. Our recruitment team, so Cristo Mendoza and Liz Brony.
Can I ask a question on the last picture? So I see they're in the Cousteau bakery.
Yes.
He said they got a tour and they learned.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
And they came back with like arms full of goods.
These are extra, right?
Yes.
Will does that, yeah.
Yes, and Jamie said that they said, okay, pick whatever you want off this rack. And when you tell junior high kids that, they come home with like loaves and loaves of bread. And they were eating it. They were very excited about it. Yes. No, totally. So yes, they came back with tons of goodies, not just a sweet treat, but like full-on loaves of bread, which was very fun. I would say our thinking behind this program was the recruitment end of it. So our counselor, Liz Baroni, and our other counselor, Mr. Mendoza, we kind of got our heads together to figure out what group of students we were going to target. So they personally invited over 30 students. We got 16 to commit to coming. And really, we focus on those students that are kind of on the bubble, aspiring to be leaders, but maybe lacking a little bit of confidence there. So we really wanted to pick students that we needed to stay involved over the summer, that we knew could aspire to be great leaders coming up in their 7th, 8th grade years, but we wanted to keep them involved in school, keep them a little bit on a routine and keep taking ownership, but finding the fun out of school. And I think we did a really good job targeting that demographic of student. Teachers that taught Joanna and Jamie, we had Colleen Booker as their paraprofessional, which was awesome to have another adult in the room during cooking extravaganzas. The cleanup was no joke. Our secretary was Ms. Carmen Almaris. She's our bilingual front office assistant. And then Liz and Cristo did all behind the scenes works in recruiting students and talking up the program. But really, it was organized beautifully. The kids had tons of fun, and they got off campus a lot and got to be autonomous with buying and selling and seeing how the business end of things work. So it was really fun. Of course, always special thanks to transportation, who helped with transporting for field trips to and from school, and the food service for providing breakfast and lunch.
Thank you. We call that cooking pandemonium.
Yes,
Cooking
it was
extravaganza.
definitely pandemonium. It was a lesson for them in cleaning as well. Like this is not clean for cooking the next day, you know? So we really tried to work on that. It's a work in
It
progress.
doesn't just magically happen. It doesn't
No.
clean itself.
It does not. And that they are surprised at how much of a mess they make that they have to clean up. That's very surprising too.
But
Yeah, we're learning to like clean as we cook. We're not quite there yet, but we're getting there.
Thank you, notes from parents.
No, we didn't. But parents were happy for this group of students, particularly to keep them involved in the program that they were excited about over the summer. And I think having it half day was helpful too. So students didn't necessarily have to be there the whole day. And really just trying to keep some routine. And we were really proud to have a program that launched this year. We've been kind of playing around with a few different models for the past couple of years. And our group of students are in between the age of needing a credit recovery type situation in high school maybe, and then needing childcare in the elementary setting. And a lot of our students do babysit their siblings, younger siblings during the summer as well. So to get them out of their households to be able to do this was really fun. And having to work with their parents in terms of maybe walking to and from and or finding out how to take care of their little sibling in between too. So I think it was really successful and we're really proud of the work we did. And special thanks to Jamie.
Thank you, Jamie.
I have a question also kind of rolled back to Erica, but do we have any way to look at outcomes from summer school? I mean, I know all learning is good learning.
Mm-hmm.
We have the funding. Let's keep these kids in school on routines. It's moving in the right direction, but is there any way to just measure anything in terms of what we're seeing?
Mainly measuring their engagement and their perception of school and relationships, I think is huge for this group of students. Not necessarily the group that we kind of cultivated aren't necessarily friends or in the same social circles. And so I think getting them to get out of their comfort zone and making new friends, I think I'm going to see a little bit of difference we give all students an interest survey in the beginning of the year. I'm curious to see if interests have changed. I've been watching really carefully. We're only on day 5 of school. We're in the honeymoon phase still, knock on wood.
Yeah.
But I've been looking to see if those partnerships or friendships have kind of continued into the beginning of the year. And I definitely see like hi, bye, maybe not best friends, but they definitely will acknowledge their peers that maybe they didn't know before that. So that's huge in junior high. Yeah. To be able to work with different groups of kids, like maybe you didn't choose, right? But I think that I will see some difference in some of those social emotional surveys going forward.
Well, and I think your very thoughtful selection, like around confidence building and little leadership, like feeling like, empowered.
Yes.
That's really.
We had kids begging to come. And so that's huge.
That's new.
We've never had, no junior high kid wants to go to school in the summer and they were begging to come. So which is exciting. And I think it'll carry on to next year because they had such a great time. So yeah, we'll see. Thank you.
And we have struggled to have a junior high program since COVID. I mean, that's kind of when it stopped.
Yeah.
So
it's a difficult age because they don't necessarily need for anything and they can be of service at home if they have littles that need to be taken care of and their parents are working during the summer. So that's where we run into a lot of our students. But I mean, with 88 students going to elementary summer school, it helps that for sure too. So, right.
Thank you, Nicole.
Thank you. Oops.
Good evening. I am Dr. Perez. I'm excited to be here tonight for my 5th year. Every year I come back and see your smiling faces, and it's a joy to talk about summer school at the high school level. The people you see in the picture here are the reasons why our students are coming. Connecting, learning, having fun. We've had 2 sessions. We've had a great number of units earned. I'm going to show you that data in a few moments. And I just want to thank the staff because not only is it my 5 years, it's their 5 years too. I've added one more English teacher, but I've had Dr. Benamilis, Dr. Lancaster. I've had Miss Cardiel, who's been both a secretary, a teacher, and just a soul of our program to support our kids. And of course, we were able to bring 2 years ago, Miss Mace, our counselor, who's able to say, this is the classes they need to be on track for graduation. Let's do it. And she's my workhorse. She's the one that pushes a lot of things. But I thank them. Behind them is our district administrators this year who came in for the 2nd session and helped us administrate the 2nd session. I went on vacation and we needed administrators this summer and they were willing to do that and they're just awesome. So thank you guys for doing that.
And that's Kevin, Tiffany, and Tate. So yeah. So John Weller got hired right at the end of the year and couldn't do the second session as he had planned. And so they were gracious to step in and what's that? Yeah, pinch hitters. There you go.
Pinch hitters.
Yeah, they pinch hit.
5 years ago, I did a slide of 25. I got it down to 5, and I'm trying to just be more tight with this stuff. But these are our people up here. They jumped in there, and what Chris said is so true. It's just thank you, thank you. Our students appreciated it, and we went through 2 sessions that really got a lot of students out from a situation where they needed credit recovery, and they earned the credits. We served 121 high school students. We had 110 students recover graduation credits with a 91 pass rate. We did it with what you see in that picture there. I'm blown away. And I'm going to tell you, our staff came with 2-day turnaround, prepared to go into it, ready to go, ready to greet, ready to love, and ready to go. We talk about, feed them, they will come. We feed them with food. We feed them with love. We feed them with care. But our staff possessed leadership, professionalism that they bring from the school year. They bring in care and just everything we need them to give some of our most vulnerable high school kids opportunity a second time to earn those credits. We've had the opportunity throughout this year to offer these courses. I had it fixed at one point. Plato for social science and 9th grade ethnic studies and AVID recovery. We had English. Mr. Lund comes from us from 2 districts, one for coaching, one for student teaching, a wonderful background, wonderful expectations and care for kids. And he just powered through both those sessions to make a difference. Of course, Dr. Benamelis and Mr. Lopez has been our stellar math teachers for the last few years, really working on small sizes, chunking the information, giving kids another opportunity to learn the math, not just get a credit, but really learn the math. So we're really honored. And then we brought one more young teacher in from Guerneville because Mr. Lopez did 1 session, and she did a wonderful job too. She was caring. She had a great interview. Whatever she showed in the interview showed up in the classroom. We were very happy with that. And then we had Dr. Lancaster run our Plato program once again. We, a couple of years ago, looked at some of the students not making it through, and we said, what do we need to do? We set up a contract for them that every week they're going to accomplish 33% of the work, get to the passing mark, and we went from maybe some of the students passing to almost 100% of the kids passing through Plato at this point. They come, they finish, and they get on to vacation. That's really what we talk about. Student voice. I love this one. We survey the kids. You see it up there. A lot of positive things. Once again, focus back on the relationships with their teachers, with their students. We always do a 15-minute rotating break, and then on Fridays everybody comes out for about 20 minutes at the last minute, and we do a popsicle Friday, and they were really excited about that. In the sense that as soon as they're done with their popsicle break, I see them back in the classroom learning for the next 45 minutes. And our excessive tardy rate went way down. We really didn't drop anybody. They just didn't show up, and they didn't come at all. So we were very excited to see that 91% our students were there. The rest who weren't either made good progress and still need some support, or there was basically that was the main reason. And we took on a lot of different students. Going back to the staff again, they were willing to stay after school at times. At one point, we had created a welcoming center. So they come into the hallways of Healdsburg High School. We don't go into the office. We stay in the middle. And we have Maria there. We have the teachers there at times saying hi to each other. And it was very enjoyable to see after school. I was trying to shoo people away. We had teachers sitting there having conversations with students. And this is summer school. They're supposed to go home. And that was one of the highlights that backs up that 91% and the reasons that I really are really proud of this summer and the staff in the last 5 years I've been working with them. And this is my conclusion. And I just thank you. And do you have any questions or things?
No, Dennis, those are super strong results. So thank you so much for your leadership and setting the whole thing up. It's creating a culture that's working. So
thank you, Chris. I appreciate that. All right.
Actually, Dennis, before you sit down, I just wanted to mention that, he was talking about some of those teachers that came from other places, Vivian, right?
Vivian.
And Mr. Lung. They both talked about how amazing our students were, how they'd work with great students too, but they were so impressed with our polite students, with our enthusiastic students. And then I wanted to say specifically, Vivian let me know that she is hoping to be an administrator someday, and she had learned so much from Dr. Perez, and she really admired his work, and she wanted to be as positive a leader as he is. So I thought that was really beautiful.
Thank you.
He wasn't there. That was the time when I was there, and he wanted to tell me. Yeah. So I thought that was fantastic. Yeah. Yeah. She wasn't sucking up. She was.
Thank you, Dennis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And one last thing, thank you. That's
Okay.
good. One last thing that I wanted to mention though, is we did start that new opportunity for students to get paid for working in some of our non-school programs like the City of Healdsburg program and the Boys and Girls Club, and also the nutrition services. And we had 7 students all together who took us up on that offer. There were 4 kiddos from high school, and then there were 3 kiddos from junior high. There were other junior high kids who wanted to do it, but they got their applications turned in a little too late for us to make it happen for them. So I learned I need to have a very firm deadline date and put it on that flyer so that we can, just make sure we get the applications turned in time. But very exciting. So 3 of the kids worked for the City of Healdsburg, and 2 for the Boys and Girls Club, and 2 for our nutrition services. And we got to pay them all through ELOP funds for their hard work. Yep.
Thank you, Tiffany.
And I would ask all of you, first of all, thank you. And particularly those of you who served over the summertime, if that's the right word. But please thank the teachers and obviously the kids. But it's so great to see and hear that they're enjoying it as opposed to, I got to go to summer school and blah, blah, blah. And I guess if, cookies make it work, cookies make it work. So again, thank you. And thank you to the teachers.
Okay, guess what? It's me again. So this will be super quick. This is just a little update about professional learning that happened over the summer. So many of our teachers, as you just heard, were involved in teaching students this summer, but a lot of them were also involved in being learners themselves. And so if we could go ahead to the next slide. Oh, I have the clicker. Just kidding. Oh, there we go. So we had quite the focus on math for professional learning this summer. We had teachers who went to the Math Leader Institute at SCO. We had the Math Fact Fluency Workshop that was also at SCO. We had math PLCs that met at the high school, at the junior high, and at Fitch Mountain campus. And so all of those teachers that you see underneath there engaged with math professional learning this summer to help have better results and better outcomes for our students in math instruction. And then there was the Avid Summer Institute. This year we went to Sacramento. No, is that right? Yes. Yeah, that's where we went, Sacramento. I was there. So I was like, okay. So we went to Sacramento. It was super fun. Had lots of good learning. I already knew Davin Godwin, our new assistant principal at the high school, but we were in the same session together this summer before she ever applied to the position. So I got to know her and just respect her work in that way. And also Tate and one other teacher, Marty Argenti, did an online Avid class, which I didn't have up there because I didn't know yet at the time I made the slide presentation. But so a lot of people really invested in Avid this summer as well. And then we had folks who went to PBL World, which is over, they call it in Napa. It's at American Canyon High School, so it's sort of Napa. And so it was a lot of fun for them. 2 from HES, Christy Afonso and Jennifer Lang, and then 2 from FMC, Danelle Nunez and Melissa Walker. And then the AP conferences. There were several teachers who went to AP conferences. There's Marin by the Bay and AP by the Bay. There's like a lot of different AP conferences. And so there were 3 total, and those are the folks that went to them. And then this is about our beginning of the year collaborations that we do when we come back to work. These are those PD days. We have an admin retreat every year. And this year we really worked on understanding our strategic plan and the way that we're going to be working towards an understanding of rooted in Healdsburg, growing towards the future. And so that's a quote from one of the admin that was there. And then we had our new employee orientation on August 5th. And I heard from several people, I kind of glommed this quote together because they talked about that they really loved how systematized our district seemed, like we have it together. And I thought that was great. They were comparing us to other places they've worked, and that was great, right? And then District Learning Day on August 11th was fantastic. We had about 20 sessions that were provided. About 80% of them were provided by teachers in the district, and they were very much appreciated for the work that they had done to prepare for those. We had 93% of our responses were like 4s and 5s, and so that was fantastic. And then we had our professional learning days at the schools, and teachers commented that those days were really useful, practical, that they felt like everything they'd been asking for were things that they were receiving. So just wanted to share that. Okay, and that's that. Do you have any questions about professional learning? Thank you.
Please.
Mr. Bean.
Yes. Let's see if I can work the microphone this time. I was watching what everyone else was doing, how they positioned themselves. And then I saw a shocking picture up there that was me. I was like, who's that old guy in front of every, oh God, it's me. So that said, Attendance Awareness Month. And one of the things I'm just going to say quickly is that one of the keynote speakers that we had this year at the District Learning Day was from oh my God, now thank you, Common Ground. Changing Perspectives is another group that we're bringing in doing similar things. But one of the things she emphasizes the importance of belonging. And so as I read this resolution about Attendance Awareness Month, I just want to keep that in the forefront of everyone's mind, that kids come to school when there's food, but also when they feel like they belong. So that said, whereas good attendance is essential to student achievement and graduation, and we are committed to dedicating our resources and attention to reducing chronic absenteeism rates with a focus starting as early as pre-kindergarten and kindergarten, and whereas chronic absence, missing 10% more of school for any reason, including excused and unexcused absences, or just 2 or 3 days a month, is a proven predictor of academic trouble and dropout rates. And whereas chronic absence is now a required reporting metric under the federal Every Student Succeeds Act, and whereas improving attendance and reducing chronic absence takes commitment, collaboration, and tailored approaches to particular challenges and strengths in each community, and whereas chronic absence predicts lower third grade reading proficiency, course failure, and eventual dropout, it weakens our communities and our local economy. And whereas the impact of chronic absence hits low-income students and children of color particularly hard if they don't have the resources to make up for lost time in the classroom and are more likely to face systemic barriers to getting to school, such as unreliable transportation, lack of access to healthcare, unstable or unaffordable housing, and whereas attendance gaps among students, groups of students, often turn into achievement gaps that undermine student success, chronic absence particularly exacerbates the achievement gap that separates low-income students from their peers. Since students from low-income families are both more likely to be chronically absent and more likely to be affected academically by missing school, and whereas absenteeism also undermines efforts to improve struggling schools, since it's hard to measure improvement in classroom instruction if students are not in class to benefit from them. And whereas schools and community partners can reach out more frequently to absent students to determine what barriers they face to attending school and what would help them attend more regularly, and whereas healthcare providers can share the importance of school attendance with families and can offer proactive, preventative care to reduce absences, and whereas schools and districts must do more to track, calculate, and share the data on how many students are chronically absent so that we can see the attendance gaps and can deliver the right interventions to the right students. And whereas All students, even those who show up regularly, are affected by chronic absence because teachers must spend time reviewing for students who miss lessons. And whereas chronic absence can be significantly reduced when schools, families, and communities work together to monitor and promote good attendance and address hurdles that keep children from going to school. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Healdsburg Unified School District proclaim that our schools will stand with the nation in recognizing September as Attendance Awareness Month. We hereby commit to supporting improving school attendance and reducing chronic absenteeism to give all children an equitable opportunity to learn, grow, and thrive academically, emotionally, and socially. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have a motion to approve this resolution 2703?
So moved. Second.
This is a resolution.
President Potmissel.
Aye.
Vice President Del Rey.
Aye.
Trustee McAllister. Trustee Velasquez. Trustee Lopez Jimenez.
Aye.
Student Trustee Brennan.
Aye.
Thank you.
And reports. Is Hada here?
That is here.
Excellent.
We have a new president.
Hello, everyone. I am Matthew Benamelis, or to one of our trustees, Dr. Benamelis. I am this year's president for the HADA team, and I just want to take a moment to introduce myself. I've been in the school district for 7 years now, and I teach math at the high school. Some of you I've taught, some family members of yours, I'm sure, or Lucas also. I have to say, personally, from everything that's been presented over the last hour or so, it's the reasons why I love teaching in the school district. All the people who care, all of the programs we have, all of the students we have here. It makes a difference as an employee here to have such amazing opportunities and people to work with. On the union side, we are really looking forward to negotiations next month. The last few years, we feel like we've had a very collaborative experience with the district and the school board, and we're looking forward to continuing that more this year. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Matthew.
Thank you.
CSEA here?
No.
Okay. Board of Trustees, reports?
Luke is hitting the ground running? Yeah.
Hold on, we're not there yet. Hold on, no, I'm kidding. Anyway, okay, I will just make two comments that I know of.
It's up. Okay.
Who's up?
Oh,
It's in this. Okay. No,
okay.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You can go up there, but they're
I
going
said Board of Trustees.
There is
before
board
the student,
reports,
but
either
that's
way.
okay. You go. No, go ahead. Go ahead. You're ready to go.
Okay.
Just go.
Was that switched?
No, it's all good. Yeah.
Sorry. What's happening?
Exactly. I'm reading the agenda.
I don't have too much to say. I mean, school started just a couple days ago. But my big thing, this was very predictable. Healdsburg High School changed their phone policy. No phones allowed. They stay in the backpack, turned all the way off all day. And I predicted this. I mentioned it last year. This is not going to be a well-regarded and accepted policy change. And I'm actually a little bit surprised. I got to school on Friday. Thursday, they were allowed for this activity. But last Friday, I got to school and no phones. And I thought it was going to be a rough day. And not for me, but just in general. With no phones because it's such a big change. And it was. But going into this week, no phones. I've actually been quite surprised with the level of engagement among students at lunch and break. And I'm really happy to see that there's no phones and students are socially enjoying themselves and engaging with one another. It's really, really awesome to see. And I think students will become adjusted throughout the school year. Just a matter of time. And I'd also like to talk about our fall sports. So cross country last year had quite the run, and I think we're in for it again. This season, we got our schedule, and it's the first time the cross country team, I think in school history, is leaving the greater Northern California area to compete. We're going down to Irvine next month to compete in one of the largest cross country meets in the country. And hopefully we'll be heading down to Fresno twice this season, once for another meet and again for state. But we'll just have to see. I think keep your eyes peeled. And of course, we've got our women's volleyball, women's tennis, football and our new girls flag football, which it's actually really awesome to see. Max Morris brought it to the school last year with just one game, and I think I'm really glad to see flag football finally become a part of our athletic agenda. And also, Mr. Benamelis is the new leadership teacher, and I'd like to say I'm really happy to see that the leadership class has been expanded. I felt like the class was a little bit underrepresented last year in terms of the student body, and this year we've expanded the class size, I think around 50 kids, if I'm 50-ish kids, which I want to say it's around a 20-person jump compared to last year. And I'm also going to open up the opportunity to the trustees. If you guys would ever like to come in and speak to the leadership class, I'm inviting you, and I'd love to see your faces in that class. Oh, it's 7:30 in the morning.
Lucas, if the students, like, it'd be a great conversation if you had specific topics you guys were interested in, like budget or whatever, happy to come in.
Yeah. I know you came in 2 years ago to discuss the budget, and I kind of opened it up to the leadership class in our first ASB meeting. If anyone has any concerns, please reach out. But I think they're a little bit uninformed about what the school board actually is. So that's also on my agenda. I want to kind of open it up to maybe another student trustee position in the future. I'm definitely going to talk with the class about that. But that's really all I have for this year so far. But I would like to take a step back and look at our college acceptances from our senior class last year. I was blown away. I have the list right here. We had a student go to Stanford, Brown, multiple to Berkeley, multiple to UCLA, multiple to Cal Poly, one to USC, multiple to UC Santa Barbara, one to Clemson Life, and one to UT Austin. And these acceptances are extraordinary. They're world-class universities. And I'd just like to say thank you to the district and the trustees, because this cannot happen without the resources that these students have been given at the high school and starting at the elementary school. The education that this district provides is phenomenal, and it's seen in our college acceptances. That's all I have.
Awesome. Thank you, Lucas.
Before you step down, you went to the Rotary Youth Leadership Academy, I think it's called RILA, yes.
Yeah.
I was going to do that when I said it. So would you just give a brief description of what happened?
Yeah. So RILA is Rotary Youth Leadership Awards. I spoke at the Rotary meeting, I want to say last week, about it. It's essentially a leadership development camp. A few students from each school in the Rotary district. So our district 5130 goes all the way up from Petaluma to the Oregon border. So I connected with students all throughout that district from, of course, Petaluma, Santa Rosa, Healdsburg, Mendocino counties, and even up to like Arcata. So tons of students, and I really furthered my leadership skills, and it was an awesome experience. It was truly like a very moving week for me. It changed my perspective on leading groups of people and how to interact with one another and realize that everyone has very diverse perspectives. And I also, that kind of sparks a little spark in my mind. I saw this paper, and I know it's the goals for the district, I want to say. But last year, I remember I talked about it slightly, civic engagement as a goal for the district. I also attended California Boys and Girls State this past summer, along with 6 other delegates from our school. And that's also another fabulous opportunity that this school provides. Although it's not through the school, it's through the American Legion. The school provides a place to be interviewed and nominated for it. And that's just that was also an awesome experience. I had one of the best summers with those two back to back. And yeah, that's real civic engagement, and I'm glad that our school is able to offer that. That's all.
Great, thank you. All right.
I want to add, as he's sitting down, so the head coach for the girls varsity flag football team is Camelia Seghetti, who is our 3rd grade teacher, and she was in the presentation earlier. She taught 6th grade in summer school. She has a college rugby background, and I think played club flag football as well. So cool to have an elementary teacher coaching the high school kids. Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah.
Move it to the high school. Okay, anything from the Board of Trustees? Nothing. I will just mention that Rotary again came to the district, if you will, and said, we have money. I kind of stepped back because of my role here, but if you have things, let them know, please. I'm not sure what the number is, so I'm kind of out of the loop, but put your heads together, and I know supplies was a proposal. And as I mentioned to the president, supplies were purchased in the summer, if not in June. So if you have any thoughts, put your heads together and just come back and make a proposal to Rotary. Please, they got the money, spend it.
Yeah, read camp for sure.
Read camp.
Yeah.
They need money.
Yeah, for sure.
That's on my list.
I just want to add that I did attend the kickoff the morning of the 11th, I think it was, and got to hear the speaker talking about belonging. It was really motivational. And I thought she was a really good speaker and very engaging. And from that teacher perspective, which I thought was so valuable. But I also just want to call out Leanne Bosung for putting that incredible breakfast together. I just felt like, I don't know, I'm not a teacher in the district, but when I walked in, I thought, this is super cool. Like just walk in and she had dragon fruit smoothies and all kinds of baked goods and cold brew coffees with cream on top and of course hot coffee too, because we've got to have our caffeine, but just really thoughtful around presenting a really welcoming, like, let's go start the new year. So
Yeah, it
wanted
was
to
a
point
great
that
morning.
out because it was, I just thought that was so cool.
Any others? Okay, let's take 5 minutes and return shortly after 7:30. Let's make it 7:35 because that'll make it 7 minutes.
Yeah, you don't need to read that right.
Yeah, I told her,
Pretty good.
not the
Yeah.
kind, yeah.
No.
She was very sad.
I think I'm first, right?
Thinking about every day.
Yeah. So good. Yeah. Now I'm gonna be up till like 11. Yeah. Lucas, what's the neat in Irvine?
But if you're doing Woodbridge, it's like all downhill.
Yeah.
So fast.
Right now, I did it on Monday and we're 80 or fast.
Oh.
Yeah.
Welty coming in ready? Welty coming in ready?
Yeah, but he's like iron deficient. So if you could take your iron and.
I've seen he's had some Achilles stuff too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, talk back in session. 12.1.E Resolution 2704 to increase board member compensation. Do you have some opening comments?
Yeah, so this is, I don't know, fourth time maybe we've had this on the agenda. I've intentionally let you all discuss it and sort of stayed out of the fray. I do have a recommendation today, given our current financial state. That said, I just wanted to say, like, I don't think we want to tie, and it's certainly not my intention by staying out of it, the value of the work you all do to the idea of compensation. You guys are all very committed and do a great job. And I don't think any of you are approaching it, and hopefully you don't think me staying out of it gives you that impression, but that it's about valuing or not valuing the work of the board. And I don't think, this is such a new thing in Healdsburg. We've only been doing it for 2 years. There are, some that think this is a volunteer thing, and others who say we could be compensated more. And I certainly understand the argument of we could potentially attract other people would there be a stipend that was more sizable. So there's lots of different reasons, but I just wanted to say that in my mind, it's not about your work. Your work is incredible. The strategic plan, I think, is some of the strongest work we've done together. I'm really excited about it. And so thank you for that. But just wanted to say that as a precursor, because fortunately, I'm going to be kind of negative in my recommendation, in that I would, I'm certainly going to turn it over to you to decide. However, given the financial state of the district with our property taxes coming in extremely low, I'd just say caution in doing any new spending, as we reflected by pulling the K-12 informed. So I'll turn it over to you guys.
Okay. So I'm going to pass these, and I apologize. There's not a, what do you call these thing? Techie thing. My computers are, I won't even use the word. I just pass these down.
So you have a presentation.
So I have a little presentation, but I just kind of went through the numbers, and I'm sorry, because I don't have one for you. I guess I don't. Is that bad? Okay. Thank you. I didn't realize that. I have a copy. Does anybody in the public want a copy? No. Okay. All right. My apologies. Okay. Thank you. My apologies. I still have a copy. I do have a copy. Okay, let's go through these quickly, and just because I was looking at the numbers, and ultimately, we're all going to decide. This is not I do look at things, try to look at the money. So page 1, if we can go through the pages separately. Currently, we get $240 a month for 11 months. Times 5 trustees, it's $13,200 a year. It's the cost. There are currently, and I call asking the previous CBO, what are the benefit costs for for us? And it's about 13,000. And I say about, I couldn't find the exact number. It might be 13,200 or something like that, but it's around 13,000. So it's the total compensation currently is around 26,200. Go to page 2. My thinking was, and based on conversations, a conversation, excuse me, with a board member about, I'm sorry, go ahead. No, yeah,
I
absolutely.
understand that this 13,000. So is this based on who's taking things now and who's not taking?
I'm taking things currently. I mean, there's 2 of us. I'm one of the people. I'm one of the people. I take dental. It costs $90 a month. So it's $990. It's $1,000. Me taking benefits costs district roughly $1,000. I also was reading my statement, the little thing that comes through the check, is $6 for visual. And I remember asking Debbie, I don't need visual. And she said, you have to take it because it's part of the package. So it's $96. So anyhow, it's about $1,000 for dental. Okay. The other person that takes, so you take off that money, and the other person basically is getting $1,200 toward benefits. And I don't know if that's dental and medical, but I think it's probably both, but I'm not positive. All right. So again, just looking at the numbers.
So it's really the second page is what's reflective of what's happening now, not anyway.
I feel like I have to say this, and I'm sorry, and I'm not trying to be judgmental, but this is a Brown Act violation because we don't have what you're looking at projected or available to the public. And it's problematic. And I didn't know, sorry, Mike, I didn't know there was going to be handouts. So
my apologies.
Also, we didn't have a chance to review this in advance, and it wasn't available to the public. So
I give it to you in advance because of the Brown Act.
Yeah, but it has to be agendized with the
The way that you
like
would, if you gave it to us to
information.
put in the packet, then it would be on there. Or like with the strategic plan and the deferred maintenance plan that we put on your blotters, we have extras for everybody in the public so they can benefit from the discussion. Those are just the rules around the Brown Act. So.
And I understand.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that said, have a conversation.
What's your overall point?
My overall point
Share that.
is, I can't share that. My overall point is that, again, in the conversation, at least, well, with just one board member, that is it equitable? It's come up, that if I'm getting benefits in addition to my stipend, and I'll use Mike's Potmissel as an example, I get $90 a month for dental. Okay, so I'm getting roughly $1,000 more a year than the rest of the board, or at least except for one other person who is getting about $1,000 a month in it for medical. So that person is getting $1,240 a month, again, rough numbers, and I'm getting, another basically $100, so $330 a month. The inequitable part that came up, not from me, was, but that's not fair. I mean, I'm doing this and I'm getting, I don't know what the word is, but stipend for this much money, but somebody else is getting this much money, much different. And my comment at the time was like, I totally agree. And we can get into a bigger picture, but stay with us. And so I thought about that, and it's like, well, if that's true, and if I agree, how do we make it more equitable? And again, and the numbers that I looked at, and you can look at all of this, and I'll leave many out there if anybody wants it. I don't see anybody wanting it. I'll get you one. Is that if we got the full 1,200, and you can break it down, you can go lower. You can look at this, look in the numbers, that it can go lower. That's fine. But at the full stipend, $1,200, and the person who is taking benefits takes it out of that $1,200. So it doesn't cost the district any more than the $1,200. So if a person was getting, $1,200 a month, then the benefits would come out. I'll use me as an example, that $90 would come out of that $1,200. Therefore, another trustee would get the full 1,200, and our compensation, if you will, would be equal. That's the way I look at it. The one question that came up in my head is, because I've thought about this obviously, is, well, what if the cost of the medical is more than the stipend? And my response at this point, I went back and forth with Mike a lot of times, well, then the person should pay for it. And I said, well, I don't know. My thought was, like, if it goes over that $1,200, is that the district does pick up that, I'm making this up, $50 or whatever it might be. Because currently the district is paying, $1,000 for a month for one of us. And if other people come in, and this is where I really if other, two of us are leaving, okay, my $90 is not going to be taken out of the pot, but somebody may come in and want full benefits, might want medical, might want dental. So you're looking at another $1,200 or more out of the pot, what the concern is that we're taking more out of the budget. Then so you get the bound, use your benefits if you need it. If you're not needed, then everybody's the same. I need benefits. It's great. I can get benefits. I mean, I'm thrilled to get dental. It's been come in handy last year, I'll tell you. And if I had to pay the 90, I'd pay the 90 because it's dental. It's cheaper than going to the dentist, or at least it was a year ago. Anyhow, that's my thoughts, your thoughts, and where do you want to go?
I think I get what you're saying, Mike, but I think when you take up this position, I kind of view it as you're serving the district and the students, and you're making decisions on behalf of what you think are going to benefit the students the most. And I don't know too much about what our property taxes look like and what the revenue for the district looks like, but if we are below, I don't think that more money should be being spent on things that aren't student facing. And that's just kind of my thoughts. I think when you take up this position, I get that everyone here does a ton of work, and it could totally be viewed as a second job. Money needs to be focused more on student facing amenities opposed to trustee facing amenities.
Okay.
Well, everyone, here we are again discussing this wonderful topic of whether we should give ourselves a raise. And we have talked about this so many times, and I feel like I've said what I have to say about this. The reality is that I feel like we would get better representation up on this dais from the people who have an investment in our schools and our community if there is a reasonable stipend attached to the work. And just because I came in when it was a volunteer job doesn't think that I have been having conversations about filling the zone 1 things with people, and $500 a month looks a lot more like something that could displace someone's work with volunteer, with their work on the board than $220 a month, which is what our stipend is.
Yeah.
Well, it is, but okay, after 221 is what you take home, right? And I don't mean, I don't have like a strong enough opinion about this to get into it any more than we already have. Like, clearly the soul of this conversation has not been resolved, period. I just want to say that, like we have not decided as a board or an administration how we feel about this subject. And we've all just been out here being like, well, I don't know if I need the money, and I just think like, it's just, there's something about it that I don't like. But right now I feel like the decision has definitely been made for us for the moment, which is that the district, our projections are not going to resolve spending extra money on this. And I do want to say that everyone else at the district, everyone who works at the district, people that I revere the work that they do, have all had raises year upon year upon year, including all of the administrators. And this is something that the state of California has put their imprint on for an organization of our size. And I just think that for us to be up here twisting in the wind, talking about student facing versus not student facing is just not that cool. I don't like it. And at this point, I feel like we don't have a lot of moves, but also I'm looking ahead to the fact that I'm going to be talking to people about this, about whether they want to put their name in for this zone 1 job. And every person I've talked to has just been like, well, it could be a financial hardship. I could have to do, and so I just think like that's really what we're talking about, is getting people up here who can represent the community and not just people who find that they have all the time. So we don't have an easy answer. I don't want to raise it right now, but I also feel like we need to decide what this stipend's about. And I feel like we had an answer to that when we started the stipend, and that's why the health insurance is there, and that's why, or the opportunity for health insurance is there, and that's why the stipend was the maximum of what we could do at the time, was that the idea was that it would attract people for whom finances and insurance are a consideration to do the job. And so if that's what we believe as a board, and that's the driving force behind it, then I think we need to make a decision from that standpoint. And at this point, I'm not willing to say that we should raise it when financial hardship is in front of us.
I would just like to reiterate that I think it needs to be fair and equitable. And so if you want to apply your stipend to your medical benefits, you should be able to do that. But it shouldn't be in excess.
And just doing quick mental math to that point, if you were to change the stipend to $500 and say the district's not paying for medical benefits, but trustees could access the medical benefits, that is, I think, a wash financially, just doing math in my head. I think it's revenue neutral. So that increases the stipend.
It's not. I mean, if the number, and I mean, I can ask if the trustee who's getting the other benefits wants to speak up, she may do so, but I'm getting $90 of dental work. Dental work.
Right.
Well, maybe. I'm getting $90 toward the dentist. Okay. So let's say that's 900. Was it 9 times 11? $990 a year. So say $100 a month. Okay. The total amount of benefits for trustees, there are 2 trustees. Mine is $1,000 a year. The other person is $12,000 a year. The $500 or the $250 a year, a month will not cover that.
Well, I'm not saying it would cover it. I'm saying you'd have access to purchasing the benefits. I'm saying $240 a month times 5 trustees times 11 months, plus the $13,000 in benefits equals about $26,000, rough numbers.
Right.
If you went to $500 a month on a stipend, said the district doesn't contribute to benefits, but trustees could access them, it's 27, right? So it's fairly revenue neutral.
But what you're saying then is the trustee who is paying, again, using round numbers, $1,000 a month would have to throw in her own $500.
Correct. And I was just piggybacking on what Judy said. That's why I was offering that as an option. Yeah. So that's not, it ups the stipend, but it doesn't impact district finances, right?
Well, and also
And
right
it
now, the
addresses
way
the
we have it written, the 2 new board members would be able to access health insurance at $11,000 a year as well. Like the way that it's written right now is that any trustee can access the health insurance
at no cost.
And
at no cost to them.
And so we're
at the same cost as it is to employees. Yeah. So it's not at no cost. They get the same.
No cost to
right.
To the
No.
trustee.
At this point, we don't cover any employees' total medical coverage because of medical rates going up, as we've heard from HADA.
Okay, whatever it does.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not saying.
So we don't cover fully.
But the number, and again, the number is roughly $13,000. One person is costing the district $1,000. The other person is costing $12,000. Okay, both of us are getting the same stipend. Okay, and what, if I'm correct, it's like, so let's raise it to 500. And let's say I want both. I don't know if it's both or one, but let's say my cost of medical dental is $1,000 a month. So are you suggesting, I'm asking, is that we go to 500, that the person, my cost is 1,000, 500 of that comes out of the stipend and I have to pay the other 5.
Yes.
Okay. I mean, I'm asking, and I guess what I don't know, concern is right. Well, it's okay. I mean, fine. It's, yeah. Or
I do think we have to consider that language if we do have 2 trustees.
Yeah, I just was offering it
Want
with those sentiments.
want the medical benefit.
Absolutely. Yeah.
What impact that is going to have.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, there's always the possibility that all 5 trustees.
That's
100%.
I mean, this must have been a conversation that you guys had when you voted this in originally.
And open enrollment is October, right? So once October goes by, we can't change it for a calendar year. So, yeah.
So that's certainly a risk and has been a risk.
Correct.
I just think we really need to go back to like, what's the reason that we're doing this? And I just don't think we've clearly articulated it. Like there was an idea 2 years ago when we instituted the stipend that we were paving the way for participation from people for whom there might be financial hardship that would keep them from serving. And we knew it was only like a small amount, but I feel like that idea still stands. And I believe in that idea. I do. I mean, everyone on this board gives a lot. And I would take issue with it, like being an idea that you're compensated based on your like performance. Cause it's not really that. It's this idea that like we're doing this pretty labor intensive, you know, job that is theoretically making a difference in the operation of our school system.
Sure.
So that's the like, you know, so we want people up here who care deeply, who are knowledgeable about what we're doing, you know, and to attract those people and give and show respect for their time and attention. And I think that was always the idea. And we are going to have a board that looks very different starting in January. I'm interested in making this fair and sort of like ending this discussion. But I just think we have to decide, like, what's it for? Are these volunteer jobs that we just decided to like pay a little bit to, or is this a, you know, but we're also elected officials, you know?
I mean, if I'm getting paid $240, $40 a month and I get full benefits, that's not a volunteer job. That's a paid position. Whatever the number is, you know, it's a $12,000 a year job.
I think I've expressed this in prior meetings. I'm not wholly convinced that whether it's $240 or $1,200, that it's going to attract. I'm not convinced it's an incentive in itself. I don't think it necessarily ensures we get high quality candidates. I don't think, I know there's a situation there was this year in Napa with a trustee who wouldn't leave the job because she didn't want to give up her $1,200 a month stipend. So I don't think the money in itself guarantees anything. We all certainly ran without any kind of stipend on the table originally. In our original forms.
16
years. Yeah.
Here's what was on the table, but right.
Well, but originally, that's why I said.
No, for sure.
And
well, wait a minute. Didn't you say you also got benefits way back when that you ultimately?
No.
Oh, okay.
Well, we eliminated benefits.
You eliminated to save
the
money.
very first was not this.
No. 10 years. 15
we eliminated benefits the first month that I was
like
on the school board.
25 years ago.
And we did it because of finances in the district. And at that time, school trustees, and I don't know if it was after one term or two terms, but I think it was after one term, got lifetime medical benefits.
I've been in district where that was given those 2 terms, but
we eliminated all compensation for trustees because every penny needed to go to our students and our staff.
And I don't disagree. I mean, the hard part of the conversation for me as I look at the bigger pictures, when I hear, we love you a lot, but you know, but I don't think we should increase that. I want to pick on the managers, but we have outstanding managers. Do we say that about them? It's like, you guys are great.
That's a whole different.
We're not
I consider this my civic duty, the way I choose.
So you would prefer to have no compensation?
I'm perfectly comfortable not having anything.
Okay. And that's
a motion to make. I happen to kind of agree. And I love my little $200 little thing because the last week of the month, I have a very, very small retirement.
There you go.
And that last week of the month, it means I get to go to the grocery store. And I like that. But it does not make a difference to my retirement. It doesn't make a difference to my wanting to serve. I think, I agree with Don. I don't see that it adds anything.
So Judy, then how do we make it equitable?
Well, if you're going to continue, if we, and I don't know how I'd vote, if we're going to continue the $242 or whatever it is a month, then I think that people should be able to buy in. I think it's certainly an advantage to be able to buy into the
medical dental,
the benefits using that and their own money.
Okay.
because that makes it equitable, that every trustee is getting exactly the same thing, depending on what their own personal circumstances are, whether they want to buy into that or not, or need to buy into that. Whether we keep the stipend or not, I don't know. I mean, I don't think that this is a poor district.
No.
I think that being a community funded district means that we get to do wonderful, wonderful things that other districts don't get to do. And we certainly have a neighbor to the south where we see horrendous things. Well, maybe they're not horrendous. Maybe they'll be successful. But I served on this board for 16 years with no compensation, and I loved every minute of it until I was tired of it. And now I'm back.
You're back, yeah.
And now I'm back because I missed it. But yeah, people do their own civic duty. For some people, voting is their civic duty, and that's all they do. Some people put signs all over, or they walk neighborhoods, or they do whatever. My civic duty for the past many, many years now is serving on the school board. And that's just mine. And I consider it a civic duty to serve on a board. And I get paid because they send me to a conference every year. And the district pays for that.
I do want to say the budget constraints right now are short term, right? This is not, the sky is not falling, right? But this month, it would be a tough decision to spend more, right? But it's a conversation, and Rose, you're right to an extent. I think as a board, we need to land on where do we believe this should be, and then we can work to that once the budget gets us more clarity and frees up. So,
and I think the problem is the timing, that we have a new board member coming on, at the end of this year. We have 2 board members leaving, and then we have an appointment coming up and conversations about who's going to apply for that appointment. And so it seems like this should be settled law to me, but it's not. So, yeah.
Well, the only law is that the legislature said up to $1,200.
Right. Well, that law. But I feel like we need to make a principled decision as a board that we agree on, as we do about everything. And this is particularly difficult because it's hard to talk about the money. Yeah.
I just don't think it's the right time for it right now. And I totally agree with what Rose was saying, 100%, that, yeah, when we first, implemented this into the district, it was to, the heart and soul was there to see if we can get a candidate that we can help in regards to maybe childcare or dinner for the family or something that, so they could come. Yeah, babysitting. And that's something that we kept bringing up, and we thought it was really cool. And I still think that's really cool. I just don't think that right now it's the right time for us to give us a raise. Because just of how budget is, and I've said it at the last meeting, not the last meeting, or the last time that this was brought up, June meeting. That I just, again, public facing. I want to make sure that the students are getting all the benefits that they can. And I totally agree with the whole, sure, $500 would make a really big impact on the family that wants to take this job too. But at the end of the day, I just don't think it's the right time right now. And I don't want to see this on the agenda again, but I think we really need to come together as a board and really sit down and be like, okay, this stipend, what does this actually mean? And what is it going to actually look like in the future when all of us are not, quote unquote, all of us are not on the board and there's a new board, right? And what is that going to look like when maybe they all decide to take the full benefits, and how is that going to look like with the budget? And so I think right now we're thinking of right now. I'm not fully thinking of 5, 10 years from now and how that's going to look.
I agree. Yeah.
I agree. I think a strategic conversation about the reason for the board, any benefit that the boards might derive, is, and it is just tough because here we are. We're not going to have to talk about this for 2 years once we have a new board seated, and then You know, if we believe that there is some aspect of it that attracts and or retains. And I feel like that's something that's up for discussion too.
Well, and maybe we have it as a study session item sometime this year, right? Once maybe we can have it with the current board, we can have it with the new board where we really dive into it philosophically. Like what is it we're trying to accomplish? And then we wait for the right time financially to be able to do it. You know what I mean? So that's a possibility as well. Like Lupe said, be more strategic about it instead of trying to force feed it at a specific time.
So two things. One is I feel like even as it's defined currently, I would like some clarification.
Sure.
The way it's worded, this is pretty much the way it's worded now, that's in the packet with the modification around the increase, a blank line, is that right?
Correct.
Around, it's tied to our attendance to these monthly board meetings.
It is.
So if you miss a board meeting, you don't get paid?
The board can excuse. When a trustee is absent from a board meeting, they can ask the board to excuse them. If the board excuses them, depending on why, and it's a public discussion, the why, then they can be compensated for it.
It has been done.
Yeah, and we have done it in the past. Yeah.
And
There are set parameters of what those absences can be to be board approved.
oh, that's already, that's in the.
It's in the board
not in the
policy.
resolution.
It's in the bylaw.
In the board policy.
And it's a resolution.
It's state law.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because there was also some discussion with a fellow trustee and there was a potential of meeting in July. And then it was, do we get a stipend for the month of July? If we meet in July, is that implied in there? Like, it just feels odd. I mean, should it be like an annual amount and not a monthly amount? I don't know. It just.
When we originally did it, it was tied to the regular meetings of the board. And that's why we had 11.
Right.
Right. So like all the study sessions, everything else wasn't necessarily tied in, though the stipend honors the work that you do in all of it, right?
That aren't happening in the board meeting. Right?
Yeah.
And then, so just going back to the earlier conversation, if there is concern about expense and not knowing what the future holds with upcoming new trustees, it kind of makes sense to go, I mean, at least if we know what our budget is, what we're spending now, does it make sense to actually take action tonight to like cap the total expense at what it is now, do a divided equals $500, whatever, so that, because it's true that we can't predict what this is going to look like even in 6 months with 2 new trustees, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so if there's a concern about increase in this amount overall, it would seem prudent to at least do that now. And take away the benefits and do the, no, what you described earlier with removing the benefits, looking at this budget, the current budget number of what's being spent now based on what people are doing.
It was like what I said after Judy, right? So you could, in a revenue neutral way, it doesn't cause us to spend this extreme amount of money. Or really, I mean, it's several $100s more. So like whatever. Could say the stipend is $500 a month for 11 months per trustee. Trustees have access to the medical benefits made available to the administration of the district, but it comes out of the pocket of the individual trustee, right? That would up the stipend, cap our costs because we don't know who's going to come in and take benefits. Somebody said that. And
So any additional money over the 500 for benefits, the individual trustee would pay for.
there would be no benefits contribution from the district. You'd simply get a $500 check minus taxes 11 times a year based.
People might want benefits.
Yes,
But they could access the benefits, just pay out of pocket.
Use me.
Yeah.
I want dental, so I would say, send me out for dental. So out of my $500 would come $90 a month. That's what it costs.
Yeah,
No.
that's the example.
And now I say, well, wait, I want medical.
No, out of the $500 comes what you.
Goes to dental. They would take the 90 out of the 500.
Probably.
Actually more than 90 because there's a deductible. out
We
of the
could
thing.
take
But
the
anyway,
cost
it-
of whatever benefits package you, like employees get, you take the cost out pre-taxes, right, for medical benefits or dental benefits. And whatever the difference is, just like how I pay for my family, it comes, like I have to, comes out of my paycheck for you. You wouldn't make enough to cover all the medical benefits. You'd have to contribute.
I would
Yeah.
contribute. Let's just say it's $1,000.
Yeah.
I would contribute.
But it's a real difference because accessing benefits in general, especially, in speaking with some of you who have spouses in the private sector, it can be very difficult and our rates are actually pretty affordable compared to what you can encounter in the free market. So,
That's very true.
yeah.
So I mean, I don't want to put words in people's mouths, but it sounded like there's an issue around fairness and leveling cost. And then there's an issue around what is our reason, what is our purpose for doing this, and how do we then make future decisions around that?
So I'd like to make a motion that we do what Chris said. And that is, wait.
You said it. Yeah.
Yeah, you understand that my
Yeah.
head is still,
Yeah.
I'm still muddled. I have a reason to be muddled.
Increase the stipend.
You increase the stipend to $500. Trustees would have access to buying into the medical,
Mm-hmm.
and it would be capped at whatever that is.
No, it's capped at 0 in terms of district contribution, right? So there is no district contribution
There's
to medical.
no district contribution.
Comes out of
to medical.
pocket, but the first $500 could come tax-free out of your
Out of
district
your stipend. So you
paycheck,
wouldn't pay
which I'm
taxes on
assuming
the
is correct.
500.
Yeah.
So that's my motion.
I'll second. Questions, comments, please. And clarification if you need.
I think we need to set up I'm not speaking directly to the motion or how I'm going to vote. I just think we should have a discussion about we can change this anytime. We could talk about this every other meeting forever.
Because
It would be amazing.
And everyone else is enjoying it. No, I know.
Right. Okay. But I'm just saying that like, if like,
Yeah.
let's just say that if the sort of like theoretical considerations behind spending this money, if we are able to articulate and vet them, I just feel like we'd all feel a lot more comfortable up here having this discussion. And also it would make sense given that we are a public organization and that we are elected officials and all these things that make this like, this should be as transparent as with as much backup and articulation for why we would spend this money instead of spending it completely student facing. So I think we do need to talk about it. I think we probably needed to talk about it from the beginning, and now we really need to talk about it. So anyway, so whatever we decide tonight, I know that it's been a big thing for my colleagues to like make sure that compensation is level, and I get it. And so that would be one thing that would be solved tonight with this motion. And so that would be good.
It also incentivizes a candidate who has benefits somewhere else. It's more money monthly. You know what I mean?
Which
Yeah.
is why we had it in the first place.
I know,
Was like,
yeah.
so that, people had an opportunity
Right.
to serve in this position with some support.
And I think regardless of the vote, we have a study session to talk about it, obviously. So
Yeah, we really
to get on
do
the same
this.
page.
I feel like we're actually
Or
we need
having
such, because we've been having this study set, we've been having this over every meeting. And I just think we don't agree. And I don't know that we're ever going to agree about what the purpose of this is.
I don't know that we disagree. That's the thing. I think we cannot I think advocating on your own behalf up here on this dais is really hard. Like, look, it would be great for my family if I got paid for the time that I put into this. And I've been doing it for 7 years, and it would be awesome for us. And Judy already said it would make a difference for her. Like, it makes a difference. And we have to stand up here and sort of pretend like it doesn't make a difference. Like, hey, we're volunteers. It's great. And we are volunteers and we're public servants. And I just want to say, since Judy said, the reason I'm sitting up here is because I felt like this was the best use of my volunteer time for the district. This was a better way for me to serve the district than any other, and to volunteer on behalf of my children and their friends and fellow students and the families in our district. I have the skills to do this job and I love doing it, and that's why I'm sitting here. But, compensation for this in some small way, I think is fair. So maybe we don't agree about that, but
I mean, we're on the verge of voting for something that gives us compensation.
I have a
That
clarifying
increases-
question after that.
Yeah, that increases the compensation we've been given that does acknowledge what you're saying. It isn't 1,200, but it is acknowledging that to a great extent. And I think, yes, we're faced with budget issues and real pressures for not increasing the overall spend, trying to keep it revenue neutral, which is kind of what we've come up to tonight. What we need to decide is what is a trigger that would then allow us to do that, to spend more. But I don't know that personally I can justify more than what we're doing right now. I think right now is easy-ish because it's revenue neutral.
And maybe we wait till we get the new trustees seated to have the next conversation so we can coalesce as a board, right? Yeah.
We reset things now
Yeah.
and we get the fairness issue addressed.
So we have a motion.
Lupe had a
Oh,
question.
sorry, yeah, my question was just like, okay, are we gonna vote for the 500, hypothetically speaking, let's say 8 years from now, whole new board trustee comes and somebody's like, hey, you know what, we want an increase in stipend, and you guys do this whole thing all over again. And again,
That's
just the
fine. So next, I'm sorry.
anyways, so that, my question was just like, was it gonna be capped at this 500, or is it gonna be like a hypothetical?
I don't think you guys can cap it, right?
Okay.
So you can only make an action for the current board. Any new board could change it.
Yeah.
Like
that's right.
Judy took it
Wanted to
away in her
clarify
first
that.
term, yeah. And then a new board could raise it. So, yeah,
Or get
Yeah.
rid of it.
right.
It's like a new presidential administration.
The state could change their laws too, you never know, yeah.
Everything changes.
Right.
Okay, any other questions, comments? So we have a motion, make sure I have it correct, that the stipend be decreased to $500, that board members may access the benefits from the district, any money, and they may use that $500 to pay for those benefits. Any money, any costs exceeding that $500 is on the individual member taking those benefits. Do I have that right?
And this starts October 1st? When does this start?
It's backdated to July on the resolution.
We can't take, well, benefits change. Do you know? I don't know. So it would be for October 1st.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We would need to.
I think a simpler way of saying it is the trustee stipend is set to $500 a month for 11 months because those are our regular board meetings if we're modeling after the current.
Per
And
whatever that is.
trustees may access district benefits out of pocket,
There you go.
right? The district does not contribute to benefits. Yeah.
In that sense.
Yeah.
So my $90 will come out of that 500.
Yeah, you set that up with the business
Yeah, fine.
office. Yeah,
And if I
exactly.
have 700,
You're paying
$200 to Angela.
Correct.
Okay, clear as mud. I have a second, we have a motion and,
We have a public comment.
oh, please.
Yeah.
Don't go too far.
It's not public.
I just wanted to clarify because I had said, you're not an employee, you're a volunteer. I want to make it clear I meant because if we have an employee that is interested in becoming a school board member, they have to not work for us, right? So we have to be clear on how we refer to ourselves. And so that, to me, that is what my message is. I appreciate everything that you do, but I think that's a fine line that we need to be careful with.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, we don't get raises. We don't get, yes.
Really elected officials and not volunteers?
Oh, 100% elected officials. Yeah. Yeah. And this is a resolution. Yes.
This is a resolution.
October 1st.
October 1st.
Well, it just doesn't work with benefits until October 1st. So I think it's just cleanest to do
Everybody
everything
good with
October
October
1st. Are we
1st?
good with that?
I
Yeah.
see nods, so October 1st will be the starting date.
President Potmissel.
Aye.
Vice President Del Rey.
Aye.
Trustee McAllister.
Aye.
Trustee Velasquez. Trustee Lopez Jimenez. Student Trustee Brennan. Thank you.
As a footnote, we will bring this up in our board governance workshop with the new board, whenever that is, January, February, not necessarily for the discussion, but do we need to discuss and let's find a time. So, okay.
And point of order, does the student trustee, is he allowed to vote on this?
Allowed to vote?
Well, okay, I'm just asking. I know because there's a
He can
personnel
vote.
issue. I don't know. I'm
Yeah.
fine with this vote. I'm not,
Yeah.
can he vote?
Yeah. His vote is symbolic.
Resolution.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
You can do whatever you want.
Well, I believe you can only abstain when there's a conflict of interest, but yeah. So.
Not necessarily, but we can talk about that. Okay, all right, so it's passed. Thank you for your help. Okay, longer than I thought. We have a resolution. Number 2705 regarding sale and disposal of surplus material. Okay, go ahead, you're on.
Yes,
CBO.
3 exciting resolutions for you tonight.
And would you turn your microphone on or bring it closer, please?
The first resolution is surplusing some student furniture, chairs and desks. My predecessor, Debbie Odetto, and our project manager did a good job in prioritizing student needs for, construction needs. And one of the areas is standardizing our student furniture. And so they purchased furniture this summer. It was delivered and installed quickly. And now we have a need to dispose of several very old student desks and chairs. And so tonight I'm asking the board to approve a resolution allowing us to do so. So moved. Thank you.
Second.
I have a question.
Absolutely.
Sorry. I think I brought this up at the last meeting. Is this one of those desks that have that chair that's attached to the?
No. We don't have those anymore.
I do. My bad.
If we can find one, I'll get it for you. Yeah.
Thank you.
Maybe in the basements. Yeah.
No, we're not. We're storing it until it's approved by the board. Yes.
As her parting gift.
That could be my parting gift.
We're on it, Lupe.
Thank you.
We'll get it in.
I got you. So serious. I really hope you guys, I know I joke all the time, but I'm being really serious.
President Potmistle, Vice President Del Rey, Trustee McAllister, Trustee Velasquez, Trustee Lopez Jimenez, Student Trustee Brennan. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. The
And
next
moving on,
resolution is to authorize signatures for the Department of General Services. And so there's several documents that I have to file and have access to their website. And so I'm not able to do that at this time. And so I'm asking to be included as well as our superintendent in the paperwork.
Let's do this.
I move to approve.
Second.
President Potmistle.
Aye.
Vice President Del Rey. Trustee McAllister.
Aye.
Trustee Velasquez.
Aye.
Trustee Lopez Jimenez. Student Trustee Brennan. Thank you.
Thank you. The next resolution is in regards to Proposition 30. It's for Educational Protection Account where we receive funds, and it's to offset salaries and benefits for our high school staff.
So moved.
Second.
President Potmistle.
Aye.
Vice President Del Rey.
Aye.
Trustee McAllister.
Aye.
Trustee Velasquez.
Aye.
Trustee Lopez Jimenez. Student Trustee Brennan. Thank you.
Thank you.
We took off the contract.
This is thank you very much. Board of Trustees, reports, comments, requests for information.
I was talking to Chris in the hallway about this. I would like, as lovely as those high school summer program credit recovery things went, I'd like to know why there were 110 kids in credit recovery. I'd like a little more information, a little deep dive into what's going on. It's not all. Okay, well, see that I'd like a little more.
It's not all.
And like what?
I'll go,
Like I know
Judy's.
we saw there was math and but it like what's
A little more detail.
What's the soft spots? Thanks. Yeah, that's all.
Other comments, requests?
Yeah.
Seeing none, and we do not go to closed session, but we will adjourn the meeting at 8:20